As you all know, this past weekend they had the versus battle between two legendary rap labels, Cash Money Records and No Limit Records. Right, it was a good matchup because both record labels uh, both record labels represent the same region. They came out around the same time. Well, they pretty much blew up around the same time, right? Between the mid '90s and between the mid '90s and pretty much the late '90s and leading up to the early 2000s, right? So they were both like neck and neck, with record sales and fan base and everything like that. But I didn't tune into it. I had watched little clips of it like the day after. I didn't tune in. I didn't tune into it primarily because I already knew they were just gonna play like the radio-friendly commercialized songs. So I already knew what songs they were gonna play anyway. So that's one of the reasons I didn't tune in to it, right? And and pretty much like the part of the verses battle that stood out was the part at the end where Birdman and Master P, they had like this little mild verbal exchange, right? you know, Birdman, he started gloating about himself, starting talking about he the number one stunner, start talking about trends he started, such as like he the first one with tattoos on his face, he the first one to get diamonds in his teeth, he started the whole bling. He had started the whole bling bling movie, which that's still, and that also is up for debate, right? And P's counterattack was, P said, "Okay, Birdman, you started this, you started that, but I started the." We all know the iconic body beat came on. Yeah. So I guess that was I guess P threw the knockout punch right there, right? People say no limit won the versus battle because of that, right? And the question is, did P really start that body movement, right? All right, if you want to talk about being the first person on wax, is P the first? No. All right, actually, like the first person, actually like the first ones I know, as far as it being on wax, the term body was actually Cash Money's like older artists, UNLV, Uptown Ends Living Violently, three three members in the group. There might have been more, prior, but I know it was Yellow Boy, Tech Nine, and Lil Ya. They the first ones I know to say body on wax on like an actual track. Then P came out with his version, right? A few years later down the line, right? So do that mean that P stole the body? No. The reason being because body it's a slang term. When it comes to slang, it's when it comes to slang, everything's up for grabs, right? Because one thing about slang term, it's always a mystery. Nobody know how slang starts, right? So like, for instance, like if I say some like what's up, bruh? That's slang for brother. And on the East Coast, New York, they say, "What's up, son?" Nobody knows who has started these terms. If you go to the Midwest, Chicago, "What's up, Joe?" Nobody know how these slang terms start, right? So you can't say that somebody, you know, like I say, it can't. Like I say, slang terms, it can't be. Now, if it was like if it was the name. Now, if the name of the song was specific, and somebody use it, yeah, it's still. But the whole term body, that's a slang term. So I can't say that. So you can't say that somebody stole it, right? All right, did P capitalize on it? Yes, hell yeah. All right, do P's version sound better? Yes, a lot better. All right, I think P just saw an opportunity, and had cashed in on it, right? Because like, if you listen to, like, I'm sure you can go up on YouTube. Yeah, matter of fact, you can go on YouTube and listen to the original. Listen to the original body track from UNLV, right? And that version is very fast paced. It's the typical New Orleans, like bounce beat, uh, high snares, fast claps, typical, like New Orleans bounce beat, right? And, P his version, P was smart. P took his beat, slowed that beat down, right, where it wasn't like too slow. Then he didn't have that much bass in it, right, because he had enough bass where he had slowed it down enough where you could still ride to it and then still play it up in the club also. Because you had too much bass in the song. I mean, you can't hear the chant, you know. I'm about it, about. So P was smart, right? So that's my opinion on. So did P still about it? I mean, I don't think he did. I just think P just saw opportunity and had cashed in on it. Yeah, but that's my opinion on it, right? About it.